saying, I'm going to invest 20 years of my life in trying to photograph this place, which is exploding every day. It's changing every day. I'm hoping that in 20 years, by the turn of the century, there's a body of work that says this is how it feels to be alive in New York City.
And it was the start of a 50-year journey to find my identity and my passion. You're at the beginning of a journey of your own right now. So come with me and let's see what we can discover.
What if I told you that street photography, the way we know it, is going to die? And it's not going to die because people don't want to do it anymore. It's quite the opposite, actually. More and more people are doing it right now. But it's going to be because people are not going to go outside anymore. Because you see, we live in a world that is becoming more and more digitalized, and we are being conditioned to do our business online, meet each other online, and do our activities online. So what does it mean for us photographers or street photographers? So last week I met up with my friend Bello, and we were heading towards the city, and we had this discussion about Facebook becoming Meta and what the Metaverse means for us photographers or creatives or artists. And the question came up, are we going to be able to continue our work? And if so, how would that look like? Oh, hey, can I take a picture of you? And I want to hear your thoughts, because I think we are living in a time where we can still decide for ourselves if we want to go along with whatever is coming, or if we say no, we have to take a step back and do something else. So I want to show you this conversation, and let me know your thoughts in the comment section, and I see you in the comment section after the video. Enjoy. Okay, I'm here with Bello. We are on the way to the city, and we were just chatting about social media, YouTube, and now we ended up talking about VR or the Metaverse.
Today, we're going to talk about the Metaverse.
And we have some concerns, and my feeling is that for us photographers or people who are interested in outdoor activities like street photography, I think it's not that great. I don't, when people are on their smartphones nowadays, we get upset, oh, it's not interesting. But what if no one is on the street? Then that would be even worse. So
the streets would stay empty forever.
Yeah, and we were just talking about different VR headsets because, we were saying until like your grandmother or your family members, until they are on board with the Metaverse or VR,
literally hearts going boom, 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 boom.
They need to really get excited for it. But with the VR headsets nowadays, the resolution is not that great, and yeah. So you were experimenting with some headsets?
Yeah, I was saying that I am very interested in all these technologies, and I always try them out to find out if this will be the new thing of the future. And so far, I mean, remember when we were at the Photokina when we saw the first Oculus glasses?
Oh yeah.
And it looked cool, but it wasn't, really that thing. And I had PlayStation VR as well. I had many different applications, gadgets, but they don't sell it to me. The reality is way more than just graphics.
Yeah.
And it's hard to convince someone who is not so tech savvy to use savory or whatever to use these gadgets. So I think it will take some time for the metaverse to emerge. But I can see a future where street photography takes place in the metaverse, because
I don't know. I don't want to.
Yeah, of course. To me, it sounds dystopian as well. But wow, this guy is ruthless.
my feeling is the danger with the metaverse is that people will get very addicted with this new Second Life, and this is the key word. You remember this game Second Life? I don't know who made it, but it was very popular in the early 2000s, maybe 2010-ish. I don't remember when it came out, but my friends at that time and we were hanging out in Second Life for weeks.
There's a freedom that comes from being in the virtual world.
At least after school, I was in Second Life until the night. I spent so much time in this game, which isn't really a game, but it was so much fun, and I didn't even use a headset. I was just chatting via the keyboard with people.
Hey buddy, there's a white woman right here you can fuck.
And there were these Dragon Ball communities and Naruto, and it was fun, and we entered some other communities and stole some of their goods, and then they banned us from the room, but some of them wanted to have war and fight us. It was exciting, it was really fun.
Okay.
But it wasn't even VR, it was just it is 3D, but on a two-dimensional screen. But it still felt immersive. But now with the Metaverse, I think it will just be on the next level. And I have a feeling once we live in the Metaverse, or the majority of us do business in the Metaverse or other activities, streets will probably look like lockdown.
Wait, where's Mark?
I think he's in the middle of something.
I think when we talk about these topics, we tend to talk about the far future, when everything just happened. Like, the wars and everything, the debates and everything are all done, and we now only talk about what the ultimate scenario will be.
Yeah.
But I think there's a lot in between. Like, many people will be, I don't want to say revolting, but they will fight the idea of joining the Metaverse. And I believe they will, go out and boycott the Metaverse. So I think we will have a kind of a torn society. The technocrats who love the new technological evolution, and those who are just strictly against it. And I don't think that we can, assume that the technocrats will win this battle, if we call it a battle, where they will rule everything. Because I think this is, again, now we enter the Matrix debate.
Are we already in the Matrix?
I think we are. I think not like we are part of the simulation, but we are already in the scenario that Matrix is describing. So the question is,
because the movie Surrogates?
Yeah.
Have you watched it? With what's the actor's name?
Bruce Willis.
Bruce Willis, yeah, the movie Surrogates. You should watch it if you haven't seen it. It's a fun movie, but it's also scary because when I watched that movie a long time ago, I could picture that future. And now we are closer to that than ever. And just imagine the Metaverse being established and people are not available because they are in the apartment, like, zoned out. It's like the Matrix.
Yeah.
We won't be able to do this on the street because everyone is going to be at home.
Yeah, of course. And this is what I think is like a potential step towards it. Because it's interesting to see that people like Elon Musk and his company are trying to decipher the brain electric whatever
Neuralink.
with Neuralink and stuff like that. And I think there's a potential that this could be a step in between. First, we have a surrogate to walk around town because there's a global pandemic. It's not safe out there, so the only way to move freely is through a robot that cannot infect other people or something. And then it turns into a how do you call it? Convenience, where you're like, hey, I look like shit today. I don't want to dress up. Let me just use my surrogate, and then it's normal. From there on, maybe a next step could be, why not just stay in that phase or whatever. This is what
I just imagine surrogates are like avatars in the fake world, in the virtual world.
Yeah.
And I just imagine a bunch of Bruce Gilden lookalikes on the street, because all the street photographers want to be some other photographer, and then you see 1,000 Bruce Gildens.
But I think this could also be interesting because some people don't want to be photographed on the street, but they love their avatars or virtual characters to be photographed.
Oh yeah, there's my my gosh, my little button nose. Yeah, how do we take a photo?
Yeah.
Especially if you look in role play scenes like GTA role play or similar places. They dress up. They put on costumes. It's also cosplay is also a part of this. People who dress up love to be photographed.
Yeah.
So for photography, it could be interesting. That's why I say I think street photography could be happening in the virtual society.
And if life happens in the metaverse, then
It becomes real.
It should be documented.
Exactly. So I think it's kind of a task to do it. So at the moment, I don't know. I feel like I don't know what to photograph, how to do street photography.
And then we have, sorry to interrupt, but then we have camera brands making virtual cameras for the metaverse.
Yes, like filters, like the Leica filter. It's a
or just
3D model of a camera.
They can do they can be the perfect lens, the highest quality because it's digital.
Yeah.
And then you pay real money for it.
Yeah.
And then I can own a Samilux Leica lens in the metaverse.
I can definitely see that happening because we already have digital fashion warehouses where you can buy digital fashion as NFTs. People can buy these virtual things. So I think this is a real scenario that could happen.
Imagine you walk into an art gallery in the metaverse and people are like, are you an outside artist or you're an inside artist? And what do you mean? And inside means it's digital in the metaverse, art created in the metaverse. And outside artist would be someone who does photograph the real world, but brings it as an NFT.
Yeah.
Hey, do you want to buy some NFTs?
Yeah.
So weird.
Yeah. So, but these are interesting times, or they would be interesting times if the politics around it wouldn't be so controversial.
Someone needs to regulate it, and then who gets to regulate it?
Exactly, and the problem is it's kind of Pandora's box. Once it's opened, it's impossible to close it. So. But I think it's important to talk about these in-between steps, like the near future instead of the far future, because we tend to, or it tends to force us to believe that we are going to end up in a Mad Max world or whatever, Matrix, either Matrix or Mad Max. And I think these are, valid opinions that what might happen, but there are so many more options that are only that only come to mind if you think about these small things in between. That's it. My name is Sofian Bello.
It's the in-betweens that are counting. It's not beauty on the outside or inside, it's the in-between.
It's in between, exactly.
So what do you think, when do you think the metaverse will be relevant for, let's say, for content creators? Because they're probably one of the first who have something to do in the metaverse, maybe.
Well, for content creators, who are you asking? Are you asking me or the audience?
I'm not. Everyone who does create things like digital or physical.
But the question: are you asking me?
Or artists, maybe.
Or are you asking the people who are watching the video? Maybe both.
Maybe both. Yeah.
So my answer would
Or just,
be
let's
right
say-
now. Definitely
Yeah?
right now. It is definitely because the problem is that some people have already started. So the ball is already rolling.
Here, you can find your community, fellow creators.
Oh, how often do you guys play in here?
Every night.
Like every night.
Really?
Yeah.
Meta is working on Horizon and stuff like this. So you're going to have copycats or startups who try to do it better than Facebook. It's kind of an arms race. Who's going to be the first who builds the next second world, the better second world. And after that, because of that, people are aware of this fact that this thing is going to come in some way or some form. So they are already preparing and creating content right now. So I think kind of to think about it, the time is right now. Maybe for some people, for early movers or something, even right now is the time to create and find strategies. Then again, I think by doing so, you contribute to something that you don't know what will, what it will lead to.
Do we want to feed the beast or?
Exactly. You're kind of grooming or growing the dragon that's going to eat you later. So this is a very, very controversial and difficult question because
I think it will definitely happen in some way because there are always. Oh, I didn't know this exists. Nice skate park. I think there are always people who jump on the next cool thing because they just want to make money and find new ways to become popular or grow a following. So there will be people jumping on board just because it's new and everyone talks about it.
Yeah.
Okay, closing words. So your opinion on what's your personal strategy?
My personal strategy at the moment is I try to learn as much as possible, especially in programming languages and everything, even though I think it makes no sense because
But you never know.
AI tools are already almost there that they can do it for you. But to have a deep understanding of program thinking and stuff like this, at the moment the only thing we can do is learn to be prepared, to have the skills in the case something like this happens, so that you can contribute and I maybe control or have a piece of control in this. Other than that, I don't know. No one knows. What's your strategy?
My strategy. I'm wondering what will happen to YouTube.
Yeah.
Will I become jobless?
While the demand for your ability to physically photograph stories may dissolve over time, what has always been important throughout the evolution of art from its earliest form up to what we have now is the perspective of the artist.
I think YouTube will still exist as a part of it, but in a different way. I can't explain how. But I think it's because if you are in the metaverse and you can experience everything you want, and there are all these experiences, that's what Mark Zuckerberg says in his teaser, experiences, then maybe you don't want to watch YouTube videos in the offline world, which is still the online. It doesn't matter.
This is interesting, like influencer marketing and all that stuff. I think it will be ramped up to the next level in a way that you're going to
maybe it's community leaders.
Yeah, you're gonna have community leaders who prepare events
like little kingdoms,
like,
and followers are living in the world of the influencer, the
for
new
example,
king. Yo. My battery died. Thank you, Fujifilm XS10. Where was I? Oh yeah. So imagine influencers in the metaverse are like kings that own their own herd of followers in their own city or town that maybe you built or you bought. And then you can live with the influencers you're following and jump between worlds and communities.
I think this is a realistic and also for me terrifying I guess suggestion. It's possible. I don't know if we really are going to end up there, but like digital monarchs or something, you know, digital kings, because this is what influencers are at the moment. If you look at some influencers having millions of followers, and if you put them together in one space, which is at the moment not possible, but might be, you know, possible through some metaverse, this would bring interesting and for me terrifying dynamics, right? Because in real life, if you have some meeting with a YouTuber and you have all these masses of people who can touch you and, you know, can be potentially harming to you, then you're cautious with what you do. But in the metaverse, where you're at home and you feel safe,
oh yeah, you can be an asshole.
you can do whatever you want because it won't have any repercussions on you.
Maybe, yeah.
Well, maybe, of course, but you know, at least you. I'm thinking about all these beauty influencers, for example. They don't need to be afraid to be groped. You know what I mean? They can. All of these OnlyFans influencers or whatever.
All these makeup tutorials.
Makeup tutorials or whatever. I don't know.
They will vanish.
They would probably turn into virtual makeup classes.
We will not have any identity issues, social acceptance.
Yeah.
For specific groups. Yeah, we will see. We have no idea, of course. We are just the peasants of the offline world. But yeah, it's going to be interesting, and I have an open mind, but I'm skeptical. These are my final words.
I mean, we need to be skeptical at the moment.
Yeah.
It would be stupid not to be skeptical.
That's true.
Yeah.
Okay, ciao, ciao. Oh, let me know in the comment section what you think of the metaverse, and yeah, maybe you have some good uses for it, or maybe you just want to escape the real world.
It would be amazing in a perfect world, but we don't live in a perfect world. We do have a lot of, you know, twisted minds out there, so
yeah. Life sucks. Bye bye. The smell of sweat and drugs and prostitution and cheap fast food and hello.